President Trump says, don't be afraid of coronavirus, and the media have a meltdown. Fox News' John Roberts goes full snowflake on Twitter. Plus, former CIA Director John Brennan's memo has the Democrats in major panic mode. All that and more. I'm Bobby Eberle. This is the 13-Minute News Hour.
And God bless the United States of America.
All right, friends, welcome to the show. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're having a great week. If you're new to the show, thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to start with President Trump and the media meltdown because they are freaking out because not only is President Trump not on his deathbed, but he's looking better than ever. He's sounding great. He's got energy. He's ready to go with legislation and policies and campaigning, and they don't know what to think about it. I mean, and this was building, folks. When President Trump went to Walter Reed this weekend, he left the hospital for a little bit because he had all these supporters outside, and he organized a little drive-by. So, of course, the media freaked out. How can President Trump do this? It's so bad. He's putting people in danger. Check it out.
Dr. Chu, I want to begin with you. What is most shocking to you watching the video? Is it the fact that the president left the hospital where he's supposed to be in quarantine, or is it the fact that there are other people in that car?
And friends, that's just one of many messages, one of many examples. They go on and on and on. So then, after President Trump was discharged, he returns to the White House and he puts out this message.
And one thing that's for certain, don't let it dominate you. Don't be afraid of it. You're going to beat it. We have the best medical equipment. We have the best medicines, all developed recently.
Don't be afraid of coronavirus. That's what the president's saying. And here's the deal, is that the Democrats in the media peddle in fear. They want you to be afraid. That's why they hype all of this stuff up. That's why the Democrats want these lockdowns. They wanted them at the beginning. They want them to continue. Even though Joe Biden's out on the campaign trail saying how the economy has been destroyed, the Democrats want the lockdowns. Ask him about that, just as an aside. But they peddle in the fear. They peddle in this, close yourself in. Don't go out. Don't do anything. Don't go to school. Don't go to restaurants. Don't enjoy life. Don't live like a free human being, American citizen should live. Don't do that. And their reaction, so President Trump, he goes out and pushes the opposite. Don't be afraid. Don't let this control you. Get on with your life. Here's their reaction.
Of course, you should be afraid of COVID and how disrespectful that is.
And now we see this tweet, which is heartless.
Don't be afraid of COVID. Don't let it control your life. Yeah, you don't have to let it control your life, man, because you live in the White House.
It is insulting to every American who wears a mask, who's been laid off as a result of COVID.
Everyone should be afraid of COVID. Look what it has already done.
Wow. According to them, the world must certainly be coming to an end. But here's what they don't tell you, folks. Here's the information the media won't share, and I hope you will understand this. Share it with your friends. Share it with your colleagues. And here's the deal. Here's the science, as Joe Biden wants to talk about it. In almost all age groups, the chances of getting coronavirus and surviving are over 99%. 99.9 something percent chance that you'll get it and you'll survive. The one age group that doesn't fit in that category is 70 and over. And oh no, watch out, because if you're 70 and over, your chance of surviving drops to 95%. 70 and over have a 95% chance that if they get once they get coronavirus, COVID-19, that they'll survive. Everyone else, over 99%. So they're going around, Chris Wallace is saying, wear the bleeping mask. We have these lockdowns. They're imposing other lockdowns. They're imposing more. Some schools haven't reopened. Some businesses haven't reopened. Some will never reopen. They're pushing these masks all over the place, even when you're walking outside, for a virus that has a 99.9% survival rate. Come on. This is insane, folks. Has everyone turned off their logic and reasoning and common sense? This has a 99.9% chance of survival. Yes, a lot of people have died, but when you look at the CDC stats, it's even vague on how much of those really apply to coronavirus. Some were suicides, some were auto accidents. If you were in an auto accident and you happen to have COVID-19, that's listed as a COVID-19 death. There's no transparency. There's no reliability even in those figures. And here's something else I looked at. If you look at the total number of deaths right now, say endings at the end of September, so 3/4 of the year, and you compare the total death total to 3/4 of the year in 2019, 2018, 3/4 of a year, it's exactly the same. There's no huge spike. We are on a path for the same number of deaths this year that we had in 2019 and 2018. Yet the Democrats, the media want you to live in fear. You can't do that. You can't succumb to that. We have to live our lives, and we should be out there living our lives, opening up all businesses. People that are vulnerable, take precautions, okay? If you're around those kind of people, you take precautions. Otherwise, these spikes that the media freak out about, oh, kids are going back to school and there's a big spike. Well, you know what's not spiking? You know what's not going up? Hospitalizations, ICU visits, deaths, because these people will get it and they'll be fine. The media are freaking out about this, outbreak at the White House as if a nuclear bomb hit the White House, as if it's just blown up. What they're not saying, and what they won't say, is that all these people who have it, in a week and a half, they'll be back on the job and they'll be fine. That's what they won't say. 99% survival rate. Joe Biden, that's the science. How about if we follow it? All right, so next, let's talk about Fox News' John Roberts. But first, if you're new to the show or haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And when you do, please hit that bell so you'll be notified. We're making our push for 100,000 subscribers by Election Day. 100K by Election Day. We could do it with your help. Folks, we're just 700 short of 95,000. We could do this. Please help spread the word. All right, let's talk about Fox News' John Roberts, because this guy is a major snowflake, and they just keep getting worse, the media. They were so disrespectful. I covered it before, but last week, Roberts was particularly bad, hammering Kayleigh McEnany on this whole white supremacy stuff. Following the debate, the president has addressed this time and time again. She threw the briefing open for questions. Roberts started, and here's what he said.
As the person who speaks for the president, does the president denounce white supremacism and groups that espouse it in all their forms?
It's just so lame. That question has been asked and answered over and over and over again. And here's McEnany's response.
Yesterday, he was point blank asked, do you denounce white supremacy? And he said, I've always denounced any form of that. I can go back and read for you in August 2019, in one voice, our nation must condemn racism, bigotry, and white supremacy. In August of 2017, racism is evil, and those who cause violence in its name are criminals and thugs, including the KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and other hate groups. I have an entire list of these quotes that I can go through with you.
And here's the thing. Roberts knows all of that. They all do. They all know that President Trump has been asked this. He's answered it. John Roberts' own wife asked the question, President Trump denounced white supremacy. They all know this. Yet after that long explanation, all those examples by Kayleigh McEnany, Roberts follows up with this.
Just to clear it up this morning, can you, naming it, make a declarative statement that you denounce, that the president denounces it?
I just did. The president has denounced this repeatedly. The president was asked this. You're contriving a storyline and a narrative.
I'm just asking you to put
He
this
said,
to rest.
I just did.
So on and on and on over a non-story. But check this out. After President Trump went to Walter Reed, he was there for a couple days. Now it's Sunday. John Roberts tweets out this. President Trump received 2 liters of supplemental oxygen Friday after his O2 sat dropped below 94. He is now on dexamethasone to help keep lung function high. So again, rather than reporting the strides that the president made, the good recovery that it looked like was happening by Sunday already, Roberts talks about, his O2 level dropped. He's got to have oxygen, the saturation dropped and all of this stuff. He's on this steroid. Give me a break. So yeah, he's reporting, but there was also other things to report. The strides, the upbeatness, the positive attitude of the president of the United States, conveying a great message of hope and optimism. Now, Roberts covers that instead. So I decided to get on Twitter. I retweeted that and I added this. I'm surprised he didn't throw white supremacy into his report. So I had to mess with him because he just goes on and on. They're so lame pushing that white supremacy nonsense. So I added it to that because I was surprised. It's like, hey, wait, John, did you leave that off your report? Because you say it all the time. So then later on, I go back and I'm looking through my tweets, seeing how they're doing. And I pulled that one up and now it looks like this. So you know what that means? Yep. This professional, this Fox News reporter who harassed Kayleigh McEnany over and over again on bogus issues like white supremacy, he got upset and he blocked me. So unreal. I'm blocked. I'm blocked by Fox News' John Roberts, all because I just wanted to help him. I wanted to make sure that he didn't leave out his prime story from his tweets because that's all he seems to be concerned about. But he went snowflake, says bye-bye to BE. So, all right, we'll see you later, John Roberts. Next, I want to talk about the story that should be the lead headline all over the place. We'll see if the media even cover it. And that is former CIA Director John Brennan's memo that has surfaced and soon to be fully declassified, showing that President Barack Obama and his corrupt administration were briefed on Hillary Clinton's efforts to tie Trump and Russia together as a campaign tactic in the 2016 campaign to draw attention to Trump on a bogus Russia collusion and away from her on her email server problems. And here's the story. Director of National Intelligence John Ratcliffe declassified documents that revealed former CIA Director John Brennan briefed former President Obama on Hillary Clinton's purported plan to tie then-candidate Donald Trump to Russia as a means of distracting the public from her use of a private email server ahead of the 2016 presidential election. Fox News first reported that Ratcliffe declassified Brennan's handwritten notes, which were taken after he briefed Obama on the intelligence the CIA received, and a CIA memo, which revealed that officials referred the matter to the FBI for potential investigative action. This is a big deal, folks. The CIA director knew what was up. Barack Obama knew what was up. Means Joe Biden probably knew what was up with Hillary Clinton's bogus plan. Remember, Hillary Clinton put the Steele dossier together, this political hit piece that pushed this Trump-Russia narrative that was totally bogus, totally a hoax. These folks all knew about it. They knew what Hillary Clinton was doing, and they knew why she was doing it to take heat off of her for her email server actions. And here's more. The declassification comes after Ratcliffe last week shared newly declassified information with the Senate Judiciary Committee, which revealed that in September 2016, U.S. intelligence officials forwarded an investigative referral on Hillary Clinton purportedly approving a plan concerning U.S. presidential candidate Donald Trump and Russian hackers hampering U.S. elections in order to distract the public from her email scandal. That referral was sent to Comey and then Deputy Assistant Director of Counterintelligence Peter Strzok. The following information is provided for the exclusive use of your bureau for background investigative action or lead purposes as appropriate. The CIA memo to Comey and Strzok stated. What a mess. And if you saw on Twitter last night, the president is all over this. He's declassifying the documents involved in all of this stuff, and that's what has the Democrats freaking out. People should be going to jail, and now that we see that the administration was briefed on all of this, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens if people actually go to jail, because this is corruption at the highest levels and the media just ignore it. So next, let's talk about the NBA, because I don't know if you noticed, but the NBA finals are going on. I'm not watching, and guess what? Nobody is watching. These are the worst ratings ever, and here's the story. The overall numbers look pretty bad. Game 3 averaged a 3.1 rating and 5.94 million viewers. Those numbers made Game 3 the least watched and lowest rated NBA Finals game on record, according to SMW. That continues a poor trend for the 2020 NBA Finals. Prior to Game 3, the record for the least viewed Finals broadcast came during Game 2. Before that, the record belonged to Game 1 of the 2020 NBA Finals. So, I wonder why you think that is. Well, Darren Ravel, he's a business sports writer. He tweeted this. This was his theory. NBA Finals ratings being at an all-time low is due to the fact that an NBA Finals game without a crowd is not a great product. Combine that with increased cord cutting and even more options. The NBA's position on politics and race has very little to do with it. Yeah, sure. Sure it does, dude. Give me a break. All right, so this Yahoo Sports story that talked about the ratings and included that tweet, right after it had a poll. Over 6,000 people, when I looked at it, participated in this poll, and here's what it said. Let's see, 12% for competition with other sports, 7% because it's a bad matchup of teams. Oh wait, here we go. 59% for player protests and politics. So I guess the fans know a thing or two, unlike this guy tweeting that it has nothing to do with race and politics in their protests. It turns out that Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner, says when next year comes around, we probably won't be having the woke jerseys and slogans on the basketball floor anymore. He's getting the message, but hopefully it's actually too late for the NBA. Folks, that's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, and when you do, please hit that bell so you'll be notified, and we'll see you next time. I'm Bobby Eberle. This is a 13-minute news hour. Okay, friends, thanks so much for watching. And before you go, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you'll be notified. And here's a special video just for you so you can watch even more of the 13-minute news hour. And don't forget to check out GOPUSA.com for the best in conservative news and commentary. We'll see you next time.